Hello there, I am Perfect Blinky and today we have some more ships in port. Today I bring you one ship from Germany and one ship from Holland, which will be the Z23, one that was featured recently and is also already on the workshop, but now updated with new colors and new weapons, while we also have a new light cruiser, Hare Majesteits De Ruyter, which is a Dutch ship. Actually a Dutch ship, not a recolored one that I just threw on some orange and stripes. No, this is actually one that sailed for the Dutch Navy, or must I say the Java Navy, which has super firing main turrets on either side, which is asymmetrical, a quintuple deck filled with anti-air installments, a scout plane, torpedo launchers, regular cranes, and some good for nothing anti-air or mixed combat installments. While the Z23 is sporting its weapons you saw in the last video, where I was still developing it, now it is finished and now it has all of them in place, including the latest set of sea mines, or depth charges if you grind down the tank. So let's go quickly through them, see how they work, and then we will try to shoot one with the other, because things are always more fun with explosions, certainly in Space Engineers. So this one is sporting 90mm. These are the Italian 90mm made by AWG, which pack quite a punch and are fairly accurate. While we still have our quintuple or quad turret or quad torpedo launcher, dual anti-air installments, and a similar setup of main turrets in the back, which are actually synced to one another, I believe. Being that they use the same information Multimart is giving them, which is a multiply climb, which we use on the naval battle server. And that is why I am building all these ships, because I have been playing a lot on the server, which is a regular Discord run by some friends of mine, but I didn't know them, but I knew something with water was happening, and the Jacaria water mod sprouted this server into popularity, I must say. Now with over 200 members and weekly events, I must say Space Engineers was never as much fun as it is today, because beforehand I usually just played around with modeling, some Star Wars builds as you might have known, maybe some wacky things, but never really gameplay. And these ships are all made for gameplay. That's what makes them so interesting to actually build, because you're not just building the aesthetic, you're also building the function. Being like, for example, this scout plane, let's try to launch it quickly, is actually able to fly and be operated using this catapult, for example, where I can just sit in this cockpit, let my friend get into the plane, and then press him outwards, which works 90% of the time, usually. Of course it breaks the second I start recording. Usually it floats off into the distance, willy-nilly, no problem. Oh, I know what happened. I left the brake on. There's a brake right behind your neck. I guess we can still try to fly. Go, my plane! Okay, we might have problems with... Oh, okay. Well, that was a success long it lasted. Let's bring these ships out to sea and see how devastating their weapons are against each other. And we'll see in volleys which ship will last best. I have the suspicion that the one with the heavy torpedo launchers is the one to beat, because these are quite devastating. Aragaf, one of the key developers, made these launchers. It's a timer system based completely on timer sensors, and a simple script that is used to reset the block. And the script is only used to, after firing 4 times, make sure that the turret is back to the 0 position, so that the bombs underneath will go up. Right, that one is out to dock. I guess this is the perfect time to see how these mines work. So these are sensor mines, so you have to enable the sensor before you fire them. You can't just fire them on the back to blow one up, but first you have to enable or disable the safety. And of course enable damage, which we will do in our global permissions tab. Hello damage, because this works by, this is a tiny gun, and how it works, it shoots itself and gives propulsion to the grid it was on. So if you let it shoot, it pops off, it gets some inertia, and it goes on its way. And it for a thing that has no thruster, it gets quite far. So using these, don't pop them all at once, because if one blows up, it will blow up its friends, and then it won't be as functional. Let's see how this works, if this works, when we put a target right in front of it. These turrets or bombs are set up to be detonated by large grid. So that's probably, yes, there we get it. And I think, yeah, we just lost the nose. Of course, yeah, we lost the nose completely actually. Let's see how that works if we actually do a broadside approach for it. The server works that each weapon has a point allocation, and torpedoes are more expensive than these mines, so there is an advantage to having a system that has no propellers. That was a hit, and we can see we blew a definite hole into the grid right there. The Ruyter did not like that. Speaking of not liking something, let's take this out a bit further, but we have an advantage here, and that is that the pilot of this ship has a turret on its control. You can see using mod mart by climb, I can rotate this, get into the camera, and try to take revenge on my little Z23. Ooh, I think I hit ammo right there. That's an effect by AWG for this ammo containers. So that was a direct hit, direct combustion. I would not have wanted to be part of that turret crew. Could be I have to adjust the ammo placement, because that was really easy. You can see the whole back blew off because we shot directly into the back. Let's see in the functional turrets which part of that was actually hit. And I'm guessing it is these containers filled with 23 shells. Not that well protected, but just a layer of light armor. Yeah. So what you can do is make this hull into heavy armor, so you don't blow up as easily, or just empty your containers and put it instead into your character inventory. Let's see, do I only have control of these lower ones? Oh, I see what happens. The grid updated, so if the script is not working, you have to make sure that you resynchronize them, as we can see here. Alright, so let's take revenge on one of the Ruyter turrets. See, light armor stands no chance. Directly shoot a hole into it. What I have done though is make sure that behind or where the rotors attach is heavy armor that keeps it in place, which also doesn't deform, which is an advantage to modded armor. You can see not as much devastation as we had in this singular one. Quick fire back. Of course, if you're in an actual battle, it will take a bit more effort to actually shoot these things. Static grid, don't. Ooh, that's a good sound. So, remind me to make those out of heavy armor instead, because this will be threat on the server. Even by things like this anti-air installment, which is actually controlled from the cockpit here. And we can use the rangefinder as our guide. See, there is yeah, there we go. Blowing stuff up. Excellent. I love the new explosion effects that AWG developed for his arsenal. It really just adds a lot more movement and ferocity to your battles. Which he also is doing for his larger naval guns. So currently all these guns are developed as tank weapons. But what will happen is that... Oh, we have automatic setting off. I guess these are broken again. Oh, no. Which one are broken? No. I guess that is why you get those stools or seats bound to your control panel. So you don't have to... No, there's something broken about these turrets. I'll fix it for the publish. Let's see if this one is working. Can make this happen. This is a quad feeling, which is fast firing, quite effective for these small grids, or indeed light armor. As you can see, it just popped off that part of the panel. Advantage though to the Ruyter is that the turrets are actually not mounted directly on deck. There is a pillar holding them in place. As you would see with regular heavy turrets, these have a heavy line of armor going down here to the cargo container, which contains their spare ammo, which you can access from the interior. Yes, I have an interior for these ships, because what would an explosion be if everything you would see is an empty vacuum of nothingness? I even went through the whole process of making sure that there's a place for your different parts of the ship. So these are, for example, here we have the engines, and this is the engine room, where we have a secondary engine room, or the primary one, I guess. Where here we have the fuel replenishment cells. Normally on real ships this would be the boiler room, right in front of the boathouse. So we got that. Okay, so this is effective, that is effective. We know the storms are effective. We will blow up the ship after we're done here. But let's see if these light torpedoes, which are impact torpedoes, will do anything against a light ship like that one. One to aim, and let's try to take out that torpedo launcher. By pressing 2 you enable the timer, which will fire off the torpedoes. You saw a sensor on that. That sensor is purely to arm the torpedo when it's ready to launch. So we punched 2 torpedoes in there, and what we have is, well, slight mess. Yes, we have a lot of the reload system here is actually broken. I guess we have all the reload system is broken. So that was so these are very vulnerable to torpedo impacts, because once you lose your rotor heads, you lose your complete torpedo set. Let's see how far these walkways are, because they don't deform. It's hard to destroy. They actually have no damage. So keep that in mind. Passages are overpowered. All right, but we have our friend here, number 2, ready to fire back. Let's see if that works in our favor. And what better to aim for than the anti-air emplacement, so that our planes can get in. Does it work? We got some torpedo launched. That is burning. We got something burning. Something will explode then. Alright, so the torpedo hit the deck, but actually blew up the anti-air installments, you must see how big that range of explosion was. This was a fine side of a ship, and it's gone now. Keep in mind that this ship is currently held in place with a gyro override script, while the other one is not, I believe. So let's see if we can put some more explosions into that hull. Did this one reload, or did we have a error? No, it's reloaded all of them. That's good. Very good. So let's try that again. One. Yeah. One away. Two away. Let's split that ship in half. Oh, that's what we call an ammo rack, where you blow up the reserves of a ship. Ah, that's a good send-off for this boat. And yeah, you just blow it up in half, I guess. That's what happens if you go to combat and bring too much ammo. So keep in mind, people, don't bring too many shells, because you will end up regretting it. Let's see if we still have fighting power. Of course, the ship would have sunk if not for the gyro script, so that's why I will be removing those scripts starting from my upcoming builds. They just feel too cheesy for me to keep using. And these are cockpit seats. Yeah, rover cockpits. So that's why we see that if the grid gets updated, mods might break, so you have to reset them. That's something I will add to the number 9 slot in a bit. Alright, let's try this. Waterline. Sniping tanks. Sniping tanks is what we do. So that was as an SAP round. Let's see what the AP round does. Not sure what the difference is, but it seems that it didn't really penetrate anything. Well, AP of course is an armor penetrator. I think the S is for mixed one. Yeah, that was a lot more devastating. You saw that the tanks behind it disappeared, right? Or are those tanks still in the same spot? Oh, there's a full row of tanks here. This ship is OP. So quite a hardy ship to sink. Quite spread out for its weapons, but of course if you can land a torpedo on these fast cruisers, or destroyer in this case, then you are golden, taking out almost half the ship instead of the complete half. Oh. Alright, that was me with the Ruyter and the Z23. I hope you enjoyed this video. Join me next time on whatever I will destroy in the upcoming video. I still have submarines coming up. I still have Star Wars coming up. There's a lot of happy fun times on the Discord server, so please join us on SENB or on my personal Discord, of course. And I'll see you on the workshop. Leave a like and subscribe on the YouTubes, because that is how war will fight me, and I hope I can share these builds with you for a really long time in the future. Thank you. I was Perfect Blinky. Bye bye.